the book of Ezekiel, chapter 14, beginning at verse 12, and it reads, "The word of the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Yahweh meaning he is, he exists, or he to be, Ba'ashem, Ba'az, and Haz, the Hashem his name, Yahushua meaning he saves, or he deliverer, two names of the Most High God and the Son. The word of the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, came again to me, saying, Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously."
Here's a secret to get rid of ads on your phone.
Which goes into the land of Israel, which is a people before it's a place. Then will I stretch out my hand upon it, and will break the staff of the bread thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it. And that's the spirit, because you got right now all these different federal cuts. I was listening to a brother, he was saying pretty much all these programs are up under the executive branch. He said he can't pretty much do away with the department completely, but he can add or take away from it.
Here's a secret to get rid of ads on your phone.
With this man doing, I had an article I was going to bring out. I hope I saved it. It'd be so much information coming. But it was saying how the judge supposed to froze Trump's executive orders, but the administration still continue pushing it. And I saw that my own eyes. I'm like, well, damn, if they froze it, how is they still people losing the benefits and, food sitting here and all this different shit? You know what I mean? In certain states where the Head Start program has been affected. Verse 14, though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, which were beloved of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, were in it, they should deliver but their
Here's
own
a secret
souls.
to get rid of ads on your
I don't know what's up with this shit. They should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua power. Because it says, riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness deliver from death. Verse 15, I cause noisome beasts to pass through the land, and they spoil it, so that it be desolate, that no man may pass through because of the beast. Verse 16, though these three men were in it, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua power, they shall deliver neither sons nor daughters, they only shall be delivered, but the land shall be desolate. And I believe the elder is going into 1 of 10. To be desolate is not to be completely destroyed, but it's 1 of 10. And also, I guess, specific, that's the spirit, because the elder's going into those, like, specific areas are going to be decimated while you're going to have, verse 17, or if I bring a sword, which I wanted, that's the point, upon the land, because it tells you in the scriptures that Esau, Edom, is the sword of the Heavenly Father. Psalms chapter 17, Romans 13. I think it's another one. Or if I bring a sword upon the land, upon that land, Ezekiel 14, and say, sword, go through the land, so that I cut off man and beast from it. Though these three men were in it, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua power, they should deliver neither sons nor daughters, but they only shall be delivered themselves. Verse 19, or if I send a pestilence into that land, and pour out my fury upon it, and blood, to cut off from it man and beast, though Noah, Daniel, and Job were in it, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua power, they shall deliver neither son nor daughter, they shall but deliver their own souls by their righteousness. Verse 21, for thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua power, how much more when I send my four sore judgments upon Jerusalem, the sword, and the famine, and the noisome beast, and the pestilence, to cut off from it man and beast. And we come into the time where the Lord is about to send those judgments on a heavier scale, though, because it's judgment going out day by day. But the scriptures talk about a time of Jacob's trouble, a time of great tribulation, which we're fastly approaching. So I want to start off by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Elohim La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem HaKodash. I want to say double honors to the elders, to the apostles that taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. I want to say shalom to the Akim and the Aqua out there listening and learning, Lord willingly. This is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. It's Brother Yahweh coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. This lesson is inspired by this article Lord willing, is edifying. So it says pretty much historic black community stops Ohio Nazi gathering, burns their flags, which is all in the scriptures, because at the end of the scriptures talk about a nation against nation. One people standing up to fight against another with swords in their hands. So, and the scriptures talk about, this is the Lord preparing at time of Jacob's trouble, And you notice what I noticed? A lot of this shit is going on in Ohio, which is not surprising, but at the same time, it's like, damn, because Ohio is like a very racist state, to the point where Jake don't realize it, but it's racist, I remember, I can go into accounts of me experiencing. I'm at a job that I just told you I experienced racism at. The fuck? That's what, so it's like, I remember my brother that's older than me, he older than me like about 7 years. He was talking about how, he said some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard, but in his mind, it made sense. He was like, pretty much, this is how much the curses affect us. He was like, he was like, he got more to worry about a Jake in the neighborhood thought he would try to do something to him as opposed to Edomite, because we didn't live around Edomites. But at the same time, when I first moved to East Cleveland, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but fuck it, nah. When I first moved there, pretty much it was still like some Edomite looking people living in the area. But those might have been Jakes. Like right now in certain areas that you would consider the hood, you got Esau that's walking right along with Jake. Them probably Jakes for real. What the elders say, you probably a nigga too. Because the thing is, Edomite is going to get far away from you for real. Jake be a nigga trying to get, what's the word? Trying to seek love from Esau. But Esau will run away from you. That's why, again, I've seen it too many times. When they start opening up the neighborhoods, Esau move out. Jacob would sit up there and still like embrace an Edomite. While Esau, in the proper spirit, like, fuck you, or I hate you, I don't like you. Nazis who by sheer coincidence seem to become emboldened whenever Donald Trump is at his most prominent, tried to promote disgusting views by overtaking a highway overpass in Evandale, Ohio. And the thing is this, the scriptures talk about in the book of Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, that as the judge of the city is, so is the people. So if Trump is racist. Like that bitch Omarosa, whatever, that nigga woman that caught herself siding with him and then seeing how racist he was, caught herself trying to record him, and that shit blew up in her face. That's just like Musk, Elon Musk. This motherfucker do the Nazi salute. Then come to find out, some information came out with that called Lo Yim La Yahweh Shemi His brothers went into it. That's really a Roman salute, but then pretty much it was a guy that resigned from Tesla, or one of Musk's companies, because he had went on a racist rant. This guy hired him back. So just showing you they don't give a fuck about y'all. You niggas in their eyes. Evandale is a small community within the Cincinnati metropolitan area. Okay, like white blood cells through a festering wound, locals confronted the Nazis, telling them to pile back into the U-Haul truck they came in from and get the hell out of there. So all this is pretty much showing you, they say they burnt the Nazi flag and all that. But, this is just a show and a testing of, strength. Best believe it's lots of these groups, because this has been going on throughout the country, and especially in Ohio. I've done multiple videos on it. It's a neighborhood in Cleveland called Huff, and Huff is renowned because of the fact you had the Huff riots. So when you had the Black Panthers and the Black Student Union and all that pretty much standing up, Jake was so upset they burnt their own shit. I always make the statement about the government being the biggest contractor. Like, pretty much, it's all kind of fucking agents. What the elders always be talking about agents. It's agents, because you have had, look at the Black Panthers. They might have started off with good intentions, but it was under the Lord, and that's why that thing was infiltrated. Look at Huey P. Newton. He's talking about stopping drugs, but then this motherfucker was on drugs. You know what I'm saying? Hypocrites. I'm going to just go into this. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, starting at verse 1, and it reads, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. They're not our words, they're the Lord's words. And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true, because they're going to come to pass. The scriptures talk about the Lord. He is not a man that he shall lie. Verse 3, Fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of the So like, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. Incredulity goes into unbelief or disbelief. Verse 4, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. All those that choose and refuse to hearken and come back to the law, statutes, and commandments are going to die. Horrible deaths too, because the Lord is inventive. Think about all the kind of different creations the Lord created. The different species, like the Lord going. Verse 5, behold, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. And one of those swords is Esau Edom. So again, that looks good for show, but wait till the Lord, removes, that destruction, cause that destruction to come forth. It look good right now because you're still in a green tree to a degree. So they got to put on the face of, oh yeah, you got rights and shit like that. But Trump showing you ain't got no rights. If the judge told this man to freeze that shit in the ministry, I can go find that article too. And the thing is about Ohio's shaped like a badge, right? And it's a racist ass state. So a lot of these fucking peckerwood ass crackers is going to be working for the law, but yet still it's hanging you niggas. That's factual. You got certain states where they find the motherfuckers hanging. Cleveland was one. Cleveland Heights, Kane Park. I ended up working with a dude that was his cousin, showing you how the Lord be directing shit. And I didn't like this dude, and this dude, me and him was bumping heads at first, and I was gonna tell him the truth because he was into the scriptures, but he was a nigga. So I was gonna give him the truth, but the last time I did that, the nigga motherfucker, it blew up in my face. He running back telling the crackers and all this shit. Yeah. But then this nigga was so confused. He was sitting up there calling them crackers in front of me like that was impressing me. And I'm like, you a dumbass. But they wasn't, man, that shit was crazy. Verse 6, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Verse 7, therefore saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And therefore saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Now, scriptures talk about whoever perished being innocent, but at the same time, we are still the apple of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua's eye, And, the Lord constantly is doing judgment. You had individuals, of our forefathers that pretty much, probably some of us, we was coming on them slave ships and, you know what I mean, bodies they just threw off the fucking boats and all, that's just at the bottom of the sea, the ocean. I mean, you got to take time to think about what the Lord has brought us through and has done to the planet. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I think about the beloved elder, how he used to watch that one channel where just talk about like all kind of judgments or all the different ways the Lord could take you out. Because you got to prepare your mind for these things, because you're going to see some horrific, horrendous, horrible fucking things. All of them is H's. Verse 10, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. And, we seeing this is the modern day Egypt, and we have been suffering since this man brought us here. Verse 11, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof, which we're witnessing right now firsthand. A lot of people don't understand what's going on, but for those that's been given this eye salve, for the elect, for the initiated, we completely understand. Verse 12, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. It says, verse 13, they that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail and with a fearful consolation. Verse 14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Woe goes into mourning, woe goes into destruction. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands, which is your race wars. So you got those that was a black community, they purposely went there and did that shit. And yeah, they walked away peacefully, but what happens when they don't? When the Lord put that spirit on them to go ahead and raise up? Because you got to remember, the elder's been in the spirit. This man is a madman. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Just imagine when it's lawlessness out here. What's that? Matthew chapter 24 and verse 12, when iniquity shall abound. You know, you think these police officers are going. I remember a quick testimony when I was growing up. You know, it was a guy that had a SK, a SKS, right? You know, so a SKS is like, it's not a single shot, but it's kind of like a AK. It's the same manufacturer. It's the same guy that made the AK. He made the SK, and pretty much it was a guy had one with a banana clip. You know, I'll never forget this because it was a police officer that pretty much dealt with a chick that grew up, well, that lived on my street. You know, it made me think of the elder when he was talking about the biggest hoe, and she was a big hoe, but she wasn't the hoe that everybody can get. You know what I mean? She was a hoe that pretty much you had to be somebody that everybody wanted hitting her. Put it like that. So long story short, she fucked with like a police officer though. So he would lightweight, you know, I didn't fuck with police officers, but at the same time, he would, you know, he wasn't that asshole police officer. So long story short, he was like, he heard the call about the motherfucker had the SKS. He said that nigga said my tire got a flat. You know what I'm saying? He said, do you know the shells on that bitch? Well, you know, will go through the car. He said, I'm not about to do that. So just imagine when you got more of these so-called police officers in that mindset as opposed, they don't give a fuck about you. They showed you that in that movie World War C. Brad Pitt thought he was coming to arrest him, the police officer. That motherfucker ran past him and went and got him some Pampers for his house. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And, you know, that's going into your time of Jacob's trouble. But the point is, you're going to have nation against nation. You're going to have Esau against Esau. You know, when Esau is fed up, he's going to go after Jake just for the fuck of it. Because that's in his spirit, that's his nature. But, you know, it tells you in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, the Lord is going to preserve us from these fucking demons. I'm going to read this verse, Jeremiah 30 and verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And who is the he? The elect of Israel, the elect of Jacob. So, you know, the Lord is going to bring this, you know, as a, you know, a judgment to 2/3. Because, you know, day of Jacob's trouble, or the time of Jacob's trouble, is not for the elect, it's for 2/3, their judgment. The Lord going to be with the elect. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 11, for I am with thee, saith the Lord Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, to save thee, though I make a full end of all nations, whither I have scattered thee, yet will I not make a full end of thee, but I will correct thee in measure, and will not leave thee altogether unpunished. You know, so, you know, we've been through our punishment when we lost the law, statutes, commandments, when we lost our heritage, you know, but the Lord is pretty much bringing us back to the fold by waking us up to this truth. So, you know, and that's a beautiful thing. Call Loyam Layah Bashim Yahshua if you can actually understand, you know, and receive this truth. That means that you have the Holy Spirit or the Comforter supping with you. And you know, that in itself is a reward, because everybody doesn't have that. Everybody doesn't see what's going on. Everybody's not in the proper spirit. And everybody's not going to make it. You know, you got to remember, Zechariah chapter 14 talks about 2/3 of the nation being cut off and dying, so that 1/3 can be preserved. So if you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of your power, whose true name in the Paleo Hebrew is Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. And with that, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Loyim La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem HaKodash, double honors to the elders, to the apostles that told me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Akwath out there listening and learning, Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time, Lord willingly. Shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasharallah. Mawaf Lababah.